Hi, this is Phil Bakelaar, and I'd like to spend a few minutes talking with you about my breakout session about organization development and visual practice, and calling it Connecting to Rich Models. I'm sometimes known as Dr. B, where I'm an adjunct professor at Montclair State University. So you can find my Twitter at DocBMSU. So what I've been doing is I trained at Grove and I learned about visual practice from going to Peter Senge conferences about systems thinking. And I saw people doing visual practice there, and I decided I wanted to learn. So I went to Grove, and I've been integrating it into various academic work that I do. This image is from a measurement conference about data science up in New Hampshire a while ago, where I introduced them to visual practice and graphic recording. And they've asked me back this year to do it again. So part of my life is that interface between the academic world and the visual practice world. When I teach graduate students, I have them learning visual practices. Here is a group of students out in the hallway doing some Grove type templates and learning to do that. It was a great night. We got locked out of our room, so we had a lot of time to stay out in the hall and do our graphic practice. Um, they come up with various forms. This is a nice one that one of my students did, where it's used a Grove template and included a number of visual elements in it. So some of the students really take to it, but they integrate the academic theories that we're doing with visual practice. And so here's an undergraduate class using what I call my game board. And so we'll be talking a little bit about all of the different tools and different academic theories that you can involve in your visual practice. And so what I do here is they have these game boards where they take one side as technology, one side as various tools that they can use in organizational consulting. In this case, we did a Peter Block book on consulting, and we used David Sibbitt's book on visual teams. And so they put in the boxes different ideas that they could use, and then they put in the middle the case that we're working on. And so this student did a very nice job of putting various things in, and I'm hoping that he'll continue to pursue the combination of organization development, organizational theory, communication theory, and visual practice. I've also been able to use my visual practice in doing work with Montclair State's connection to the news industry, and this was something I did in Morristown with News Voices. And so what I want to bring is the idea of how theory can help us to ask questions when we're involved in a problem-solving situation. Theory really is meant to describe, explain, predict, control, and intervene. It gives us variables or handles for thinking about what's happening in a situation, and a lot of frameworks that I want to bring up and introduce you to. So it's really kind of a walk through an overview of organization development history, different traditions of theory, and it's just a rich place to draw from in doing your work in visual practice. And it can help you to become a desired commodity. This is a quote from Practicing Organization Development by the OD Network. It says, "Professionally, to be a desired commodity means to have in possession competence, stature, and credibility in dealing with a range of relevant organization issues and be well versed in applied behavioral science, people matters, organization, and change. Such expertise is a rare and valuable commodity within the leadership community." So I would like to help you think about drawing from the behavioral sciences, communication theory, organization theory, management theory, as you become a desired commodity in your visual practice. This is an example that we'll look at called the choice map. It's kind of a nice interface between visual practice and organization development. It builds on the theory of discursive creation of social reality and talks about the questions you ask can change the outcomes in the worlds that you create. And so this is a nice example that you may not have seen before, and we'll kind of go over it and talk about its value. We'll also go over some of the more traditional organization frameworks, like the Burke-Litwin model here, that help you to have a sense of all the different areas that you might explore in your work, especially if you've come to visual practice from the art dimension, the artistic dimension, and you want to pick up more of the organization theory. This would be a great place for you to come. We'll look at parts of this book, Practicing Organization Development. This is the most recent standard book from the OD network, and we'll go over different parts of that. And their definition of OD is very interesting. It talks about organization development creates and sustains organizational cultures in which the human spirit can flourish, creative and innovative thought can be maximized, and human productivity can be enhanced. That's accomplished by divorcing the value of ideas from the status of those who present those ideas, since OD practitioners assume that everyone, and not just senior executives, has valuable ideas that may be worth hearing. Organization development is interested in bringing together diverse voices and perspectives to engage people in ownership of solutions and changes. And so it's really what we do, but we can understand better what we're doing if we know some of the theory and background. And so we'll look at the OD map that organizational OD network suggests. We'll go over that. I'll talk to you a little bit about the different kinds of consulting, and a wonderful book, The Lords of Strategy, talks about Boston Consulting Group and Bain Consulting and all of the ways they are coming around to the importance of involving more dialogic and participatory forms. We'll look at the NTL Handbook of Organization Development and Change. NTL is local for us in DC, and they're really the mainstream from which OD theory developed back in the 1940s, 1950s. So we'll take a look at that. This is a textbook I use when I teach, Organization Development by Donald Anderson. I'll show you some things from that. We'll talk about some of his cases that he uses. And we'll look at things like Kurt Lewin's force field analysis, which is very old, but always very relevant. And I'd like to introduce you to SimLog, which is a system for the multiple level observation of groups. That is a very visual way, but it's deeply rooted in interaction analysis theories. And so it enables you to take have a snapshot that is information rich about what a group does and how you can use a visual there that will help you to think about ways to create your drawings in a way that allows you to open up new discussions. And some consulting groups already do this, and you could tell a lot, and I'll go over all the things I could tell you about this group from this simple visual. Interaction analysis is rooted in Robert Bale's work, and many years ago from Harvard, and so we'll talk about that. So I hope that you'll consider coming. Kelvy gives us this diagram of 4 levels of scribing, where sometimes we just hear and draw, sometimes we interpret, then we connect ideas, and then we reveal essences of what is waiting to be seen. And if you come to the theory and history and tools session that I do, you'll be able to move further down this levels and be able to really bring some new interesting conversations to the groups that you meet with. So I hope that you come, and we'll have a lot of good conversation about how you can find these the tools that will work to develop for you.